Roberta, Peter, and Phyllis had everything. They lived in an immaculate London villa with hot and cold running water and a perfectly curated nursery. Their comfort relied entirely on the silent machinery of Edwardian domestic service. Cooks baked pigeon pies, maids delivered tea, and nurses brushed their hair. The children never thought about where their meals came from or who scrubbed their floors. Then 2 strangers arrive at the villa. Their father is taken away in a cab. Within weeks, the servants are dismissed. The silver and china are packed into crates, and the family is forced to abandon the city. A life of extreme convenience creates a dangerous illusion of personal capability. Because meals appeared on schedule and fires were lit for them, the children had no idea how helpless they actually were without that hidden infrastructure. Their relocation happens in the dark. They board a late-night train, shivering on a drafty platform, and ride a cart into a pitch-black, unfamiliar countryside. They finally reach their new home, a cottage called 3 Chimneys. The woman hired to prepare the house is gone. The windows are shuttered, the rooms are dead quiet, and the temperature is dropping rapidly. Inside, by the light of a single candle, they find a cold stone floor and their few remaining possessions sealed inside heavy packing cases. There is no fire in the grate, and the dining room table is completely bare. Sudden poverty does not announce itself with a bank statement. Instead, it hits as a physical shock. It is the immediate, terrifying absence of the labor, the heat, and the food that kept the family alive yesterday. The next morning, the children realize they cannot wait to be rescued. Their mother is exhausted. If they are going to survive, they have to write their own manual for living. Rule 1: abandon your previous standards. The indoor plumbing is gone. To wash, the girls head to the freezing iron pump, taking turns working the handle and scrubbing their faces in the icy water. Rule 2: repurpose whatever you can find. When they go to set the table for breakfast, the matching tea sets and silver spoons are locked away or sold. They have to improvise. A heavy glass ashtray becomes an excellent salt cellar. A dented baking tin serves perfectly well as a bread plate. Surviving a sudden lack of resources forces you to look at your environment differently. You have to immediately separate what society tells you an object is for from what it can actually do. Rule 3: protect the primary earner. Their mother locks herself in an upstairs room, writing desperately to sell stories and keep them fed. She is no longer their playmate. She is their sole financial lifeline. The children adapt by absorbing the household friction. They quietly haul the heavy coal, make the beds, and scrub the shoes, ensuring their mother has the uninterrupted time she needs to work. Roberta, the eldest, goes a step further. She enforces a strict boundary with her siblings. They are never to ask their mother about why their father is gone, or complain about their new circumstances. Beyond the rationing of coal and candles, survival in a crisis household depends on the protection of the family's collective emotional bandwidth. Every complaint suppressed is energy saved for the group. The grueling reality of their chores eventually pushes the children outward. They leave the claustrophobia of the cottage and venture down into the open valley to find something, anything, to occupy their minds. At the bottom of a steep hill, they discover the railway. They stand by the fence, mesmerized by the humming telegraph wires and the sheer scale of the steel tracks cutting through the turf. The morning express hits them with a wall of hot air and deafening noise. In the darkness of the cutting, the engine becomes a massive, roaring dragon, a living entity that makes the very pebbles dance as it passes. The trains become their daily ritual. In a life strictly defined by what they can no longer afford, the railway offers a limitless, free connection to the outside world, keeping them psychologically tethered to hope. As weeks pass, the helpless children who arrived in the dark disappear entirely. They learn to navigate the rough terrain, fix their own clothes, and take total ownership of their daily survival. They leave their aristocratic isolation behind. Instead of relying on invisible servants, they forge genuine friendships with the station workers, the local doctor, and the men who operate the heavy machinery. The disaster that broke their wealthy lifestyle forced them to rely entirely on each other. By taking on real physical responsibilities, They forged a united, highly functional family dynamic that their money could never buy. True resilience is rarely about returning to the way things were before the crisis. It requires letting the sudden drop in resources strip away your old habits, so you can build a highly capable, entirely new identity. The Railway Children's Survival Guide is surprisingly simple. You adapt your physical environment with whatever is in front of you. You fiercely protect the people keeping you afloat, and you look outward for new lifelines. Have you ever faced a moment where the resources you relied on vanished overnight? Tell us in the comments how you adapted your household to survive it. Because when the safety net disappears, we are finally forced to discover what we are actually capable of. The hardest disruptions lay the tracks for our greatest growth.